4, 3. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of MLB Central. My name is Doug, alongside me is Wiz and Joe, and I'll start off with Wiz, so we're going to talk about the Yankees. Wiz is a former major leaguer, played for the Dodgers and the Yankees, tallied over 3,500 hits in his career, was inducted into Cooperstown last year, and now has his own podcast called Winning Play Podcast, which you can be seen on Barstool Sports. I'll start with you, Wiz. What have you seen from Juan Soto this spring so far?
Before I begin, I just want to thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure. What I've seen from Juan Soto is how incredible of a hitter he is. He's like a very matured hitter for such a young guy. He's younger than Hadley Rutschman, and even in spring training, you can see how good he is and what he's going to bring to the team.
And so now let's go to Joe, who's a former professional major leaguer who played for the 09 Yankees last time they won the World Series. Do you think that since you won the World Series last time with the Yankees, do you think Juan Soto has that special it factor that can make them over the top?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna play the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a really good team coming off this offseason. But yeah, I think they have a really good shot at winning it all this year.
Yeah, and let's go back to Wiz over here. And, do you think that having someone like Aaron Judge behind him, who's probably the best home run hitter in the past 10 years, hit behind Soto, he's going to get more pitches to hit. Do you think that affects Soto in a big way this year?
Yeah, I think it affects him, but also he's led the MLB in walks 4 years in a row. So he knows when to hit, and he knows when to just his swing and miss rate is very low. I think it's good if he gets on base, so Judge can do damage.
Yeah, and now let's talk about two guys that have to have a bounce back year. Joe, starting with Rodon, that he signed a big extension, 6 years, 132 I think was the number. What do you think? Do you think he has a bounce back year this year? Do you think he's going to go back to the league?
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. Last year was kind of disappointing with all the injuries that he had. A lot of difficult things, but I think the Yankees staff has what it takes to make him have a bounce back year and play really, really great.
And another guy that has to have a bounce back year for the Yankees on a big contract. The guy who got much skinnier over the offseason. Wiz, what do you think about Giancarlo Stanton?
I think Giancarlo Stanton is an amazing player. He's proven himself. Just had some struggles with New York, and the way he's handled New York fans, he deserves to do well. So maybe this is the year where he finally fixes things.
And Joe, who do you think is the biggest factor for number 28 this year?
I think that he's gonna hit a lot of sluggers. I mean, he's gonna get a lot of home runs. He's gonna be a big impact to the Yankees if he could show out this year. I mean, I do think if he plays good, they have that big three: Judge, Stanton, and Soto. I think they could really, really do very well in the league this year if Giancarlo Stanton shows up with all the other guys.
And talk to me about a guy named Clark Schmidt. He kind of in his rookie year last year, kind of had a really bad year. I think he bounced back this year.
Yeah, last year he started off spring training very well. Similarly to this year, he's playing spring training very well. He started off a little rough in the opening day, the first week. He started off rough, but later as the season progressed, he continued to make improvements. And Matt Blake, the pitching coach of the Yankees, is a whiz. He really trains players extremely well. So he knows, and they have many rookies and prospects that are pitchers that are incredible. I think Clark Schmidt is just one of them. He just has to build his confidence and his pitching. I think it will be good.
Let's talk about two new guys on the team. Which of these two new guys do you think will impact the Yankees more, Marcus Stroman or Alex Rodon?
Oh, Marcus Stroman, he's a really, really good player. I mean, he's been in the league for a good amount. I think that he has a lot of experience, and I'm going to go with Marcus Stroman.
He also has experience playing in New York. Yeah, he has a big attitude. He played for the Mets. He can handle the pressure. And I'll ask you now about Alex Verdugo. What do you think the type of impact he brings to the Yankee lineup?
I think the lefty plays in Yankee Stadium, the short porch and right, and I think Verdugo has that flair that every not just baseball but every team needs that person that he's when someone hits you, you always retaliate. He brings that emotion to the game, which everyone hopes to see.
Now let's talk about the bullpen. One guy that has to do well in the bullpen this year is the closer in the New York Yankees. Probably the hardest job, and one of them to do in sports is be that closer. You have to have that special mentality. What do you think about Clay Holmes this year?
Clay Holmes, he's really gonna have to close out games. He's as you said, it's the hardest position, if not in baseball and sports. I mean, it's just such a hard position. You gotta close out the games, no matter if you're up or down. It's a tough position to be in. I think that he really has to show out.
Okay, give me your World Series prediction this year.
I think it's gonna be Yankees Dodgers, as Joe said before. But let me just make one quick point. I disagree with him when you say Clay Holmes is gonna be the biggest factor. I think it's like a guy like Ron Marinaccio or Tommy Kane, the middle relievers who really need to step it up because some of the starters might not be able to, like beside Cole and hopefully Rodon bounces back and Nestor, they might not be able to go to the 6-7 innings we're used to. So 5 innings and then these middle relievers are going to have to step up big time before they can even get to the homes.
What is your World Series prediction?
So like I said before, I think it's definitely going to be Yankees, Dodgers, 2 super teams right there. Hopefully if the Yankees win, hopefully it's going to be a great series. Like maybe I would be really happy with the Yankees winning 7 games.
I'm going to go Yankees over the Reds in 7. I think there's been that team in the National League with the 60 that goes to the World Series every year, and I'm going to go Cincinnati Reds. I want to thank Wiz, I want to thank Joe for coming on today. Remember to like and subscribe on the video, and we'll see you guys later.
Cut. Wow!